first stage where you are using your USB mic or your webcam or even your headset, gaming headset, or any other mic that you might have. Because nowadays, when people have been taking part in a lot of Zoom, you might not realize that the built-in mic on your laptop is not that great. It's okay, it's passable, but it's not that great. So you might have gotten a webcam, you might have gotten a extra mic or one of those conference calls headsets. I believe you can get it popular for $19 and it's got a little microphone. Or you can get the better ones like used for gaming and so that you can shout your commands in Call of Duty and call your reinforcements. So what I'll do here is I'll set, you can see on my screen, options, preferences, and I've set my driver, my audio input device to microphone USB audio. This microphone USB audio is actually my webcam. So we're actually going to try seeing how a webcam comes in. I get the choice to choose audio input device because I have my MME driver set up. Usually I don't use the MME driver. I use the ASIO driver, because that one gives me faster response. But for what I'm going to show you now, I can actually not worry so much about that because I already have my music track recorded. So I'm using the MME driver so that you can see that there's an input device here. The audio device is going to my headphones, and also it's going sharing to the Zoom session. So if you let me know by giving me a thumbs up whether you can hear the backing track. That is the backing track. Now I've got a microphone set up. Again, that's from options, preferences, audio. With the MME driver on, I've got a microphone, USB microphone, meaning my webcam. Or you could put in a proper microphone like some of you have. And I am going to get it from, now I've got the audio track here. This is my audio track. And it's set to take inputs from 1 and 2. Actually, my webcam has a pair of microphones because it's supposed to get me stereo sound. So if I do 1, 2, I'll actually get 1 and 2 rather than mono sound. So with this on, I can actually record. You can see the levels that are kicking now. There are levels of sound. And if I go nearer to my microphone, you can actually see that my volume is increasing. I have left the monitoring to off because I don't want to hear the sound going through Ableton and back. I just want to hear myself in my own ears, in my own head. And I'll show you what happens if I have it to in or auto, in which case it'll be monitoring the sound through Ableton. Then there's actually double. Because you hear my actual voice, then you hear the sound going into Ableton, and then coming out again. Which can drive you crazy if you're trying to say something or use the microphone or record, because you're hearing yourself twice. So I go off because I know my sound is being recorded. I don't need to hear it yet. So let me record something. I'm going to record some poetry. This is Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Okay, and I'm going to do it in a few takes because I'm not going to get it right the first time. How to do takes is that you look at this automation button. When it's on, you can see all your red lines of automation, and the automation thing is blue. I don't want it on, I want it off. So I switch it off, and I'm going to select this section that I have here from bar 1 to 16, and I have my loop on. See this loop thing? Loop on. So it will loop around. And when I finish the first round, it will loop around to the beginning. So let's start. Give myself a little bit of time to get into the groove. And this is Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone Stand in the desert near them on sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, a hand that mocked them and heart that fed. Okay, coming to take 2. I met a traveller from an ancient land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Take 3, I made a mistake just now. I met a traveller from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, a hand that mocked them and a heart that fed. So I stop and I'm going to right click now and I'm going to show take lanes. And then you see it's actually got multiple versions of what I recorded. Different lanes. This one is a mess. What happened to this? This one got messed up. I think this one needs to move here. Is it? Well, this one needs to move here maybe. You know what? Doesn't matter, because if I think that it looks messed up, I just won't use it. Okay, so how do I choose which one to use? I use the pencil tool. And I remember the first time, I think I got the beginning right. So I'm just going to hear the first one. I click on this little speaker so I can hear just the first take. I met a traveller from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone. A bit rushed. Let me hear the next take. I met a traveller from an ancient land who said... Ooh, wrong. Cannot use this because I said ancient instead of antique. I'm going to zoom in a bit using the plus key. Zoom in a bit so that we can see better. Now I'm going to try the third take. The third take, maybe I got the sound right. I met a traveller from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone. Okay, so the second line is not nice. Second line is hesitating. So, but I will choose this. I'm drawing over it. And then I'll choose the second line from take 2. Sorry, switch off the speaker, there we go. So I've drawn here, I've taken the first line from take 3, second line from take 2. Let's hear, what shall I take for third line? Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered... Let's hear what it sounds like in take 2. Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose... Okay, I don't like this take 2, so I'm going to go back to take 3 again. Take 3. And what about the next line? Frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command. I met a traveller from an antique... Then maybe I'll just take from here. Cold command. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless... I think I want to actually take from the first take. I felt a better groove. Right. Eyes whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold tell that its sculptor well those passions... I need to move this, so I'll switch off the pencil tool and I'll move this a bit. And then I'll go back to my pencil tool so that I can draw in this. Then I'll draw in this so that it will match up. Eyes whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and heart that fed. The good thing about doing lo-fi is that even though my webcam doesn't have very high quality sound, the gets me that lo-fi feeling. So this is actually using a webcam to do the recording of vocal. I of course did not attempt to rap or sing into this, but see, you can, with a webcam you can do that recording, and you can just let it loop around and around. You notice that I actually don't have a loop that actually starts with me immediately having to go in. I actually gave myself a gap, right? This front part. So this front part I'm not going to use. I will unuse it. I will, in fact, sorry. Right click and deactivate it. So I don't have the ones it's take 1, take 2. Okay. So this is my actual final audio. So I'll call it my poem. And once I've got this recording in, which is actually parts from audio 4, audio 3, audio 4, audio 2. Stretch this out. Yeah. I can now process it, and perhaps I will go into my audio effects like EQ8, and I will drop in the EQ8, and then I'll see where's the noise, and I'll try and reduce the noise.
Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and heart that fed. Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command, tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and heart that fed.
I got rid of my roll rumble, but I still have a bit of my high noise. So I'm basically using the EQ to try and tone down the different. I might sound pretty muffled after this one.
Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command.
And this way I've got less of the hissing on top and less of the rumbling below. So of course, if you have a better mic, you have less of this problem, right? And then we can put in all kinds of processing, because my voice right now is very dry. So I'll put in some, probably put in a vintage delay, like a clipped slap analog, and make it little. Let's see what it sounds like.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said two vast and trunkless lakes of...
Wow, so loud. Power.
Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command.
Oh, it's clipped, no wonder. Yeah, so you can see this. I can do all kinds of things, right?
Stand in the desert, near them on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies whose frown, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command.
Hope this gives you ideas. So please try on your own with your own microphones and take multi-take recording. Remember, your automation button must be off. And if you want to view the take lanes, make sure you right click and then you show take lanes. But otherwise, you can just let it loop around, and then it will record different layers. And then at the end, you can still right click and show take lanes. Then you can see all the individual lanes. Then you use the pencil tool up here to draw which ones you want. And if you need to move them, you switch off the pencil tool, then you move the individual sections of the takes that you have taken. So please try.